My stepfather announced to everyone that I was rejected by every college I applied to and should settle for community college. But I later discovered he was hiding my acceptance letters and deleting my emails to prevent my mom from spending money on my education. I'm an 18-year-old who believed I had failed to get into any college. By April, all the emails I saw were rejections. It was crushing. I worked so hard in high school, and I couldn't fathom why no school wanted me. My stepfather kept reassuring me, saying community college was a solid starting point. He constantly pushed community college, claiming universities were a waste of cash. I thought he was just trying to console me about the rejections, but something about his quick dismissal of four-year universities always felt off. It turns out I wasn't rejected everywhere. My stepfather was intercepting my acceptance letters and emails, letting me see only the rejections. I had used a Gmail account for applications, which he helped me create, insisting on knowing the password for emergencies. Unbeknownst to me, he set up a filter in the email settings to automatically delete or hide any messages that seemed like acceptances. Plus, he was grabbing physical mail from colleges before I could see it. I rarely got to the mailbox before him after school, so I didn't suspect anything. I only uncovered this by sheer chance. A week ago, I got a call from an unknown number. It was an admissions officer from one of the universities I applied to, saying they hadn't heard back from me and wanted to know if I was still interested, as the deadline to accept my spot had passed. I was stunned, thinking it might be a scam. She clarified that I'd been accepted and they were surprised by my silence. I explained I never received an acceptance letter or email, believing I'd been rejected. She suggested checking my email's spam or trash folders and said I might still have a chance to enroll late. After the call, I scoured my email account. I noticed something strange, an email from that university in the trash, marked as read. Digging deeper, I found a filter in the settings that caught emails with phrases like congratulations, accepted, or admission offer, and deleted them. Several emails from different colleges had been caught. I felt nauseous, realizing the rejections I saw were likely the only emails left because he filtered out the acceptances. Wanting proof, I snuck into my stepfather's home office while he was at work. In a desk drawer hidden under some papers, I found a thick folder. When I opened it, I was floored. Inside were physical acceptance letters addressed to me from at least 4 universities, all opened. I was shaking. He'd hidden them while I was devastated, thinking I wasn't good enough. Some letters had his handwritten notes like too costly or not happening. I was enraged and horrified. I gathered the letters and confronted him that evening when he got home. I stayed calm and asked why he hid my acceptances. He initially acted clueless, saying, "What are you talking about?" So I showed him the stack of letters. His face went pale, then defensive. He sighed and claimed he was going to discuss them with me. Sure, after the deadlines passed. I demanded answers, and he finally admitted he didn't want me attending a university because it's too expensive and he didn't want my mom squandering money on it. I was furious. First, I've been working part-time and have savings for college. Plus, my mom had saved money for my education before she even married him. It's not just his money. Second, even if finances were an issue, sabotaging me was a massive betrayal. I told him he had no right to make that call for me or my mom. He got defensive, shouting that I should be thankful he's looking out for me, that community college would let me graduate debt-free before transferring. He insisted he was doing me a favor, saving us from debt for a pointless degree. I called his actions selfish and deceitful. Things escalated. He told me to stop overreacting and shut up. He said in his house, "We don't throw money at fancy colleges when community college is an option." I was livid, yelling that he ruined my chance to attend a school I earned. The deadline for one school had passed because of him, and who knows what else I missed. He rolled his eyes, saying it's not a big deal and I could start at community college and transfer later. He even told me not to tell my mom, claiming she had enough stress and we'd sort it out ourselves, meaning I should accept his plan and forget the universities. I refused, saying this was my future and he'd crossed a major line. He got cold and warned, "Don't turn this into a war, young lady. Don't make me the villain." It felt threatening, like he was daring me to stay quiet. I'm stuck at home with him until my mom returns in 2 days. I haven't told her yet, but I will when she's back. I texted her to confirm her return, but I didn't want to break this news over text or phone while she's with my grandparents. She asked if everything's okay, and I just said we'd talk soon. She sensed something was wrong, asking if my stepfather and I were okay. I lied and said we're fine. In reality, I'm barely speaking to him and he's acting like nothing happened. I'm sharing this because I'm so angry and frustrated. My stepfather tried to derail my future over money he didn't want spent on me. It's so manipulative and dishonest, I can't fully process it. I don't know what'll happen when I tell my mom, but it's going to be explosive. She has no idea and she'll be livid and heartbroken. I'm also unsure about the colleges. Did I lose all my offers? Can I fix this? I'm still in shock this even happened. Update 1, my mom returned and I told her everything. I couldn't wait, she hadn't even taken off her coat before I spilled it all. She was devastated and furious. I've never seen her like that. She kept asking, "He did what? Are you sure?" I showed her the letters and her face crumpled. She started crying, apologizing, saying she should have known something was wrong. Her shock soon turned to rage. She's usually calm and avoids conflict, but she was incensed that he'd sabotaged my future. She said, "All those nights we comforted you over rejections and he knew you were accepted." It was intense. Seeing her heartbreak made it worse. She felt betrayed as my mom and his wife, as he made a huge decision behind her back. We confronted my stepfather together when he got home. He knew he was caught. My mom tore into him, yelling how he could hide her daughter's acceptances. He doubled down, repeating that he was protecting our finances, that community college was just as good. He kept saying universities are too expensive and we need to be practical. That infuriated my mom more. She shouted, "Our money, since when is it just yours?" She'd saved for my education, including money from my late dad, my real father. My stepfather knew about this fund and seemed to resent it. He admitted he didn't want any money, his, hers, or otherwise, going to a 4-year school. The argument was explosive. My mom called his actions controlling and a betrayal. He yelled that she was being irrational about costs. He even said, "If you two thought logically, you'd thank me for saving you from a financial disaster." I snapped, saying no one would thank him for lying. My mom agreed, calling his behavior despicable. He turned on me, saying I was blowing it out of proportion and that kids get rejected all the time and survive. I shot back that he stole my choice. My mom backed me, saying he had no right. Then he threatened me, saying if I kept turning my mom against him, I could pack my bags and leave his house. My mom immediately said, "She's not going anywhere. If anyone leaves, it's you for this stunt." He got louder, yelling, "This is my house, I pay the bills, I make the rules." It was scary. I thought he might actually throw my stuff out. My mom threatened to call the police if he didn't calm down, which shocked me. He scoffed, saying, "Now you're threatening me with cops," and stormed out, driving off. My mom hugged me, promising I wouldn't be kicked out and that she'd handle it. The house is tense now. He returned later and we're avoiding each other. No one apologized, it's like a standoff. My mom mentioned staying at a friend's with me for a few days to get space, but she's hesitant to leave her home. I'm worried he might mess with my stuff or the finances. I'm avoiding him and focusing on fixing my college situation. Update 2. I spent days calling the colleges that accepted me, explaining the situation to see if I could still enroll. Good news, 3 universities agreed to honor my admission for a late fall or spring start. I was stunned, thinking I'd have to wait a year. I explained it as a family emergency or mix-up, and they were understanding. One university, a top choice, said I'm still eligible for a partial scholarship they offered initially. It hadn't been reassigned, so I can use it for spring. I was floored. It's a huge win after this mess. The other 2 schools offered spring admission without specific scholarships, but I'll explore aid options. I'm relieved to have options beyond community college. My stepfather was watching me closely. I tried calling colleges when he was out, but he likely overheard one call. He interrogated me about who I was talking to, and I vaguely said admissions offices. He was visibly annoyed I was pursuing universities. He thought I'd give up after our fight. When he learned I got into a university with a scholarship, either my mom told him or he snooped. He lost it. Another huge fight erupted. He yelled at my mom, saying she was making a massive mistake letting me go to a university and wasting money. He gave her an ultimatum: support my university plans or save their marriage. He said if she helped me financially or otherwise, she was choosing me over him. It's wild that a grown man would compete with an 18-year-old like this. He ranted that I'm ungrateful, dividing their marriage, and that my mom should respect his plan for community college. My mom, crying, accused him of controlling her and isolating me. She said, "You're my husband, but she's my daughter. Why are you forcing a choice? We're family." He replied that I'm not his kid and he's not obligated to pay for my fancy college plans, saying I'm nearly 19 and can do what I want, but not with his money or in his house. I stayed out of this fight as much as I could, overhearing from another room. My heart raced hearing him demand my mom abandon me. I stepped in when he said I'm not his kid, saying, "Good, because my real dad wouldn't have done this." It wasn't smart, but I was furious. He told me to stay out of it, and my mom sent me to my room to de-escalate. I listened to them argue, him saying she's a bad wife for siding with me, her saying he betrayed us. It went on forever until it quieted and I heard a door slam. He slept on the couch or guest room that night. The next morning, my mom looked drained but told me, "If he's making me choose, I choose you. He can't treat my daughter like this." I hugged her, crying, relieved she didn't choose him. She promised we'd figure out the money and I wouldn't miss this opportunity. My stepfather left for work without speaking. I went to the library to handle college stuff on their Wi-Fi, avoiding his snooping. I also started packing important belongings in case things escalated. Update 3. My mom, usually passive, took a bold step. She opened a new bank account and transferred money from her savings and my college fund to pay for my tuition. This was huge. My stepfather controlled their finances for years. When they married, he merged their accounts, managing everything since he earns more. It went from paying bills to approving every expense, even cutting up her credit card once. She never challenged him until now. After his ultimatum, she snapped. Without telling him, she withdrew money from their joint account, her savings and my fund, and put it in her own account to secure my college costs. She also grabbed important documents like birth certificates, preparing for a possible separation. I was so proud when she told me after the fact. When my stepfather noticed the transfer, he retaliated. He changed the home Wi-Fi password, locking me out, and didn't give my mom the new password either. Then, he removed my phone from the family plan, cutting my service. It was pure spite to hinder my college calls. My mom was furious and gave me a temporary SIM, promising to get me on her plan. Then he followed through on kicking me out. While my mom was at work, he told me I wasn't welcome since I was disrespecting him and draining their money. I didn't argue much, saying, "Fine, I don't want to live with you either." I packed what I could and called my mom, who told me to go to my aunt's, her sister. My aunt picked me up within an hour. I was outside with my bags, not wanting to stay near him. He stayed in his office, probably thinking he'd won. My aunt welcomed me warmly, saying I could stay as long as needed and that she's proud of me. My mom had filled her in. My aunt said, "We won't let him get away with this." My mom stayed in the house to plan her next steps, likely considering legal and financial moves. She got me a temporary phone plan and we're in constant contact. She paid the deposit for my spring semester at the university with the scholarship before my stepfather could interfere. The situation with him is at a breaking point. They barely speak, and he's blaming me for their issues. Last night, he tried apologizing to my mom for their fights, not his actions, suggesting I apologize and drop the university plans to fix things. She refused, saying there's no going back. He accused her of valuing a spoiled kid over their marriage. She's now planning her exit, consulting a lawyer with my uncle's help. Update 4. This is likely my final update, as things have reached a conclusion. My stepfather tried to salvage his image by rallying our extended family against me and my mom, but it backfired. He called and emailed family, mostly my mom's siblings and cousins, portraying me as entitled and my mom as manipulated by me. I saw the email, forwarded by an uncle. He claimed I threw a fit over rejections and convinced my mom to spend recklessly on a university. But he slipped up, admitting he intercepted 1 or 2 letters to spare me disappointment from unaffordable schools. That was a mistake. Intercepting mail is a federal crime. My uncles, both lawyers, spotted this. One replied to all, noting that he confessed to mail tampering and should watch his words. Family members tore into him. My aunt called and ripped him apart for betraying us. My grandparents are furious too. His plan to turn the family against us failed. Everyone supports us. My mom filed for legal separation, the first step to divorce. She moved out to my grandparents last week, taking her belongings and documents. When he was served papers, he was shocked and begged her not to end their marriage over a disagreement about a kid. She said he destroyed the marriage by betraying us. I'm doing okay. I've enrolled in the university for spring, attended orientation, and signed up for classes. I start next month, and I'm excited but nervous. My mom and I ensured my college plans stayed on track. We're unsure about pursuing the mail tampering legally. My uncle says we could, but my mom may use it as divorce leverage. My stepfather's quiet now, likely realizing he's lost. I'm safe at my aunt's, working extra hours to save for school. My aunt won't take rent, telling me to focus on my future. I'm grateful for my family's support. It's a mess, but I'm relieved to be out of that toxic house and moving forward.